Hey folks, today I'm making a video for a 280 Zzzap and Dodgem for the Astrocade. I'm doing this so I can get a bonus point for Season 2, Round 5 of the Astrocade High Score Club. This round ends tomorrow, which is Sunday, May 28th, 2017 at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The main game this round is 280 Zzzap and Dodgem, which is included on one cartridge. It's one of the original releases for the system. The bonus game for the month, which I'm hoping to make a video review if I have time before tomorrow night, is Super Slope, which is a machine language game that you load into your basic cartridge for Astro Basic. They're both racing games. The only difference is one of them you're skiing down a mountain and one of them you're driving in a car. So if you're at all familiar with Night Driver from Atari for either the 2600 or the arcade game, then you've seen 280 Zzzap. Dodgem, on the other hand, is kind of basically a top-down view of 280 Zzzap. I've actually done some disassembly of this program, and they use most of the same code, and which makes a lot of sense because the cartridge is only 2K in size. This is cartridge number 2001. It was manufactured in probably 77, and it was one of the original releases that you could buy for the system in January of 78 from JSNA. When Bally sold the system in 1980, it was also re-released by Astrovision in 1981. It is part of the Action Skill series and was programmed for the Astrocade by Jay Fenton. Jay also programmed the Bally Basic and Astro Basic cart, as well as some of the stuff that's built into the system itself, although I can't remember off the top of my head the details on that. The first game on the cartridge is part of the black and white 1976 arcade game, or it's based on that anyway. It's called Datsun 280 Zzzap by Midway Manufacturing. And I've tried to play that in a MAME, and it does work just fine, but it's difficult to play because you need an analog controller, and I haven't had too much success doing that. The interesting thing about this is that they're very similar. There's actually the black and white version of the game's actually got like higher resolution, and it's got some extra stuff, but they're basically the same game. This game was, I think it's either too easy or it was meant for children. I'm not sure. As you see me play, I'm saying this now, I usually don't crash at all in this game unless I do it on purpose, which I'm going to do because this game doesn't like show you graphically that you've crashed. It'll give you sound effects written to the screen, and some of them are pretty interesting and have a little bit of history to them. I'm interrupting myself here to give you a picture of the original release of the cover from the Bally version of the game, and then there's a picture of the cartridge and a picture of the Astrocade re-release of the manual in 1981. This is the one that has the actual color cover. That is a drawing of a car racing down a road. Then I have two different versions of the arcade flyer. And finally there is a screenshot of the arcade version of the game. This is the black and white screenshot. I found this in a video that was uploaded to YouTube by someone's username of Arcade Joe. I took a screenshot of the video and have inserted it here to give you a better understanding of about how the game worked in the arcade and the big difference of how it looks on the Astrocade. Enjoy. Let's see. So this is the description from the game, from the manual's cover. Two different high-speed car races demand quick responses and raw courage. Enter your racing time into the computer, floor the accelerator, and go for speed and distance. Oh, check it out. You know what that means? That means it's been like about 2 minutes or so since we've been making this video. You'll be able to press a trigger and it's back on. So if you're not aware, in the 1970s, if you didn't give any, if you had your computer hooked up, like the Pong units and I think maybe the original Atari games, you could burn an image into the screen, and the Astrocade actually has something built into its 8K ROM. As long as you're calling the 8K ROM using the onboard subroutines, that will, I think you can set it to blank the screen. I can't remember what the time it was, but in this case it took about 3 minutes or so. So kind of interesting. It means you've been looking at the same screen for a long time just listening to my poor voice talk. Sorry about that. 280 Zzzap challenges you to hold a road filled with dangerous hairpin turns. Datsun puts you up, or not Datsun, Dodgem puts you up against other cars driving by the computer, or driven by the computer. The sharper your driving skills, the more mileage you'll get. So 280 Zzzap and Dodgem, like I said, same one cartridge. It's a pretty easy to find game. It's one of the most common you'll find. It was always available, had wide release. It probably will play best on real hardware, which is what I'm using. I'm using an Astrocade era Astrocade. You use the knob control left or right. That's all you use it for. Let's see, and the trigger, of course, you use to accelerate. The game can be played under MAME emulation using a mouse. I wouldn't recommend it. It's not easy to do. If you happen to have a Astrovision adapter, you can use the Astrocade controller, or if you use like a Stella adapter, you can actually use the Atari 2600 paddle to play this game under Astrocade emulation under MAME, which is pretty cool. And if you're interested, back in October, on October 12th, 2016, just for the heck of it, I began disassembling this game, and that was about 5 or 6 months ago. And I only spent about a day doing it, but it's available. You can find it on ballyla.com, my website. Also, the 2 versions of this manual are available there as well. So I'm going to, just to make sure the screen doesn't blink again, press the trigger. And obviously, if I was to try to choose that number, it wouldn't work. So here's some of the simple instructions for the game. For 280 Zap, which I'm going to cover first. Feeling the pressure and speed and time, you're off along the course of a cross-country road race. Negotiate the curves as carefully and quickly as possible to score the most points. Which is pretty easy. Too easy, if you ask me. You choose the game by pressing number 1 on the screen. You can play for up to, let's see, 99. You can enter up to 3 digits for 999 or 999. So you can play for 9 minutes 99 seconds if you want, which is too long of a game. I think I chose for this game for the High Score Club to play for 99 seconds, which makes sense. It's not a very great game, but hey, it's being reviewed here. So when you're playing the game, like I said, you use the knob to steer back and forth, and that is it. So you just want to accumulate points, which is really mileage. So I'm going to start the game using the remote control system, which is really using the hand control number 1. I can turn the knob back and forth, go between 0 and 9. If I choose the wrong number, like 9, if I was to choose that, it won't work. Give me a question mark. So then you press the trigger again, which is the fire button on other systems. I'm going to choose number 1, and I'm going to enter my race time as 90 or so, which might be easier to do with the keypad, but or so. It's not like a big deal here. 99. There we go. I kind of probably cleaned this up a couple years ago. The pot inside this controller, so the knob works pretty good. So here's my game. I'm holding the trigger down all the way to go as fast as I can. I'm not sure how well the sound is audible. I'm going to deliberately crash so you can see some of like what happens when you crash. So bam. In that case it says pow. Now I'm not sure how loud it is. And that says bang. The most interesting one is kind of semi-famous. See if I can get it to say it. I'm not saying it yet. Alright, I think there's 3 of them. So we've seen 2 of them so far. Boom, okay. Bang, boom, pow. I guess it's 4 of them because there's still one we haven't seen. And, man. And it's, of course, one I wanted to show you, so of course it's not showing up. And I don't know if you can see the speedometer down at the bottom. So apparently if you hold the trigger down all the way, you go 240 miles per hour. There we go, Zork. That's the most famous saying from this game. Now, this game was programmed in the 70s, around the same time as the game Zork was, but it's much more likely that they both have the word Zork in common from someone working at MIT on the MIT campus or something like that, which is apparently where the word originates from. I don't know exactly how that works. I know it's been traced back to the 50s in other cases, to I think like Zork spelled Z-O-R-C-H, which was used in the Model Railroad Club or something like that. I can't quite remember, but... Alright, so now I'm going to play for real. Well, now I only have 10 seconds left in my game. Alright. And that's going to be about it. That's about as exciting as this game gets. You don't get to see any more. I hit the finish line. On the bottom right corner, you can see I went 3.65 miles. Not a very good score. I think if you don't crash in 99 seconds, you can get about 5.5 miles at going maximum speed, which is pretty easy to do. Now, in this game, pressing the trigger, nothing happens. Pressing the trigger. I take that back. The manual even says to press reset in order to restart it, but apparently pressing the trigger works too. So now you've got to choose again. This time I'm going to show you a couple things about that game, which I don't know if you'd noticed while I was playing. I'm just going to press a random amount of time. As you can see, there are no obstacles in the game at all. So when you're playing Night Driver, for instance, listen to 2600, there's houses on the side. I think there's some other obstacles too. Cars come towards you. There's more sound effects. You hear beeping horns. So the game is, I think, better on the 2600. It plays fine on here. It's just not very challenging. It's much too easy. I could do this all day, but let's see if I can end it with Zork. Nope, ended with PAL. But that's good enough for today. So I'm going to press reset. Next up is going to be Dodgem, which is basically the same idea, same game, kind of, except as a top view. This one has obstacles, though, other cars. I'm going to do race time. This one I'm not good at, not at all. And I'm starting the game. Terrible, terrible color scheme. So this one, if you just hold the trigger down and try to go as fast as you can, you'll inevitably crash because you start going Zork again. I love it. I love it. You see a mailbox here. Open mailbox. All right. So I've got. I think you can have up to 3. I was going to say baddies, but I guess other cars aren't really baddies, are they? And they go pretty wild. They seem like they've all been doing a little bit of drinking before they got on the road, on this pink road. I guess it's Breast Awareness Month or something. I don't know. Let's see. Boom. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I just realized what I said. Anyway, I'm not going to play this too much longer. I don't really enjoy this game very much. This is probably my least favorite game in the Astrocade library, except for maybe the bingo game, the Speed Math Bingo or something like that it's called. It's just too easy. It needed to have been harder. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. I know they're kind of not too exciting, especially with this game when there's not much to look at. But the Astrocade is a pretty cool little system. It's got good control. It's too bad that the game isn't very deep. Where at least they added more to the cartridge than was included in the arcade, because as far as I'm aware, Dodgem isn't available in the arcade at all. And so this one, they add a little bit to it, but it would probably have been worth it for them to, instead of making 2 games on the cartridge, to sort of make 280Zap a little bit better of a game. But they chose not to go that route. Alright, thanks for watching.